This is News 8 Now, this morning.
Cross-country interstates like this one are used to traffic illegal drugs across the country. We spoke with local officials on what they do to keep those drugs out of our communities.
How a nationwide shortage of ADHD medication is affecting local communities.
We have people that are breaking into homes, breaking into cars, which creates victims.
We have to be able to work within the addiction community to say, we can help offer these resources and understand that people are going to fail, they're going to relapse, but we have to slow down the demand.
It's Arndt again finding the twine, her second goal of the game. All UWL last night. Eagles get the shutout win 6-0 as they improve to 10-1-1 on the year.
Well, a good Thursday morning to you. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jordan Fremstead.
And I'm Derek Sibley.
Well, in terms of weather, I mean, I can't believe we're a week into October.
I know. It's insane, right? The year's just moving by so fast.
But in terms of those temperatures, Derek,
Yeah.
30 degrees tonight potentially?
Yeah, and also into Saturday morning too, Jordan. It's going to be a little bit wild around here, something that we haven't seen a little bit. I mean, obviously that's not too cold for us here in Wisconsin, but at least so far the coldest air of the season is on the way, to say the least. Now, we're also watching a broken line of showers here moving in across our northern zones this morning. Eau Claire getting in on some of that now with some of those heavy showers that continue to move into your area. So just watch out here. That could affect your morning commute on your way to work this morning. Otherwise, the rest of us looking mainly cloudy. We'll keep an eye on that broken line of showers, though, as it continues to move south, as it could affect some other neighborhoods down south as well. Current temperatures as you head out the door are mainly in the 50s this morning. Overall, looking quiet here to start, but again, a couple of showers here possible through at least around 9 o'clock or so. Those rain chances will dwindle here later today, looking mainly cloudy with temperatures really into the 50s this afternoon. Overall, a much cooler day, 58 degrees around 3 o'clock, and then it only gets cooler thereafter. Allergy report for today is low for the ragweed and weeds. Mold is still high, and the same here for the day tomorrow. I'll be back with another check on your schoolcast in just a bit. Jordan?
All right, thanks a lot for that update, Derek. Well, the Waukesha Christmas Day Parade trial has become a trial of delays. On Wednesday, the court delayed the third day of Darrell Brooks' trial once again. Brooks requested to adjourn the trial by telling the court that he is experiencing symptoms of COVID and was tested before coming into court. The judge found there was no health and safety issue, and this is nothing more than a delay tactic. Brooks was offered a rapid test but denied it. Brooks was seated at least 6 feet from others in the courtroom. Sean Hawk will go to trial for the alleged killing of 32-year-old Sarah Latimer. Along with homicide, he is charged with multiple counts of repeated domestic abuse. Hawk was in court for a preliminary hearing on Wednesday. An investigator for the Sparta Police Department took the stand Wednesday. He said Latimer's mother called the police department the day before her death with text messages and pictures from her daughter showing injuries.
She called to have a welfare check done on Sarah because she had received text messages and picture messages from Sarah. Her picture was a picture of her face where she had swollen lips, and she looked like she was laying on Sean's arm.
Following his hearing, Hawk was sentenced for previous domestic violence charges to 15 months in prison and 2 years of extended supervision. The community gets a chance to meet the candidates for La Crosse County Sheriff. We spoke to Republican Fritz Leinfelder and Democrat John Siegel. At the event hosted by the North La Crosse Business Association, drugs and crime are issues that are on both of the candidates' minds. However, the two have different approaches to combat those issues.
We have people that are breaking into homes, breaking into cars, which creates victims. We have to look out for our victims in La Crosse County.
We have to be able to work within the addiction community to say, we can help offer these resources and understand that people are going to fail, they're going to relapse, but we have to slow down the demand.
Both candidates currently work in the sheriff's office. Leinfelder is an investigator and Siegel is the captain of investigators. Rising drug overdose deaths affect everyone, and officials at the local level work to keep drugs from entering the community, but they can't do it alone. The effects of heavy drug use can devastate a community, and Drug Task Force Director Robert Walensky sees those effects. An inter-county task force in the La Crosse region works together to attack the problems as they come, and they use their connections to work toward the source.
logically, you deal with this guy that's bringing in the 2 pounds, and then you don't have to deal with all these people here with the gram they're getting from them.
Walensky says the source is states away, with each officer bringing in their community's knowledge. It makes it easier to tackle the problem, plus these connections keep smaller departments from becoming overwhelmed. In a letter to district families, La Crosse School District Superintendent Aaron Engel says the district needs to consolidate whether the November referendum passes or not. If the referendum fails, Engel says consolidation would happen by moving into 2 middle schools short term and into 1 high school and 1 middle school within existing buildings in 5 to 10 years. Officials confirm a buck at a Vernon County deer farm tested positive for chronic wasting disease. The farm has been placed under quarantine and no live or dead animals are allowed to leave the property. The Wisconsin and U.S. Departments of Agriculture will investigate the case. Research says humans, cattle, and other animals are resistant to the disease, but it is still important to reduce exposure since there's no treatments or vaccines for that disease. Worldwide, 5% of children and roughly 3% of adults have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. It's commonly known as ADHD. And depending on the severity of a person's ADHD, medication is one of the options to regulate it. But you may see longer wait times at the pharmacy. News 8 Now's Dua Israr spoke with local health experts who say there is an ADHD medication shortage.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, one of the most common telehealth visits was for ADHD.
It's much easier to make an appointment with a physician just to be treated for attention deficit disorder.
ADHD is a chronic condition. Its symptoms include being hyperactive, impulsive, and having difficulty focusing.
I was diagnosed probably as a 13-year-old, so this would be about middle school to freshman year.
ADHD affects all ages and can be treated using medication.
I actually just got prescribed medication, so I'm waiting for it to come in.
A sharp increase for ADHD medication during the pandemic has now led to a shortage.
So there's a much higher demand and the manufacturers are unable to keep up with supply.
Nursing student Margaret Beiswanger is just one of the people nationwide struggling to get her medication.
It's difficult to obtain all 3 of those. Especially with changing my dosages.
Beiswanger says getting her prescription used to take 1 to 2 weeks.
But now it's more like 3 to sometimes even 4 weeks. I do stretch what I have to make it last.
Clinical manager at Gunderson Health System Mark Ertz says there are some solutions.
Could be as simple as switching strengths, a higher dose, cutting it in half, or a lower dose, doubling it to make the appropriate dose work for that patient.
Ertz says people with ADHD should fill their prescriptions sooner rather than later.
If you stay on top of it, it can be avoided.
So patients can go on with their everyday tasks.
Health experts say if you are having difficulty filling your ADHD prescription, you should talk to your local health care provider. The La Crosse Area Chamber is taking local business and community issues to the state capitol. The virtual trip to Madison was part of the Chamber's Oktoberfest in the Capitol tradition. Several La Crosse community members took turns sharing top issues with state legislators, from transportation resources to expanding efforts for child care. A director at the Parenting Place says La Crosse County has lost more than 350 child care businesses in the past 20 years.
So we have some existing physical capacity, but no staff to take advantage of it. At the Parenting Place, we support a 3-tiered approach focusing first on the retention of who we have in the field. We need to keep these people working.
The rest of their approach is getting back to capacity and then expanding from there. She says expansion is crucial because there's more need for child care than there are current spaces among providers. Bringing Oktoberfest to the schools. While folks at home may be missing the festive fun, Hamilton Elementary and Soda students had a little celebration of their own. Kids sang and danced to folk songs like Edelweiss with the Oktoberfest royal family. And one lucky student had an extra special morning.
My grandma's in Oktoberfest and I got to go up there and sing with her.
The Oktoberfest royal family will be making school and nursing home visits through Sunday. They plan to make People's Day at over 25 stops in the community. Still to come on your Thursday morning news, a trending ingredient on TikTok and on the menus at fine restaurants in some cities, and now it's on pace to break some record sales. We'll explain And UW La Crosse is getting a new major, one that is being called a big need, and it gives more options to their students. We'll share more on that after the break. With that in mind, we are sending you to break with something to put the good in your Thursday morning. The more you know. You should know your blood type. Scientists say everyone should know that in case of a life-threatening event that results in the need for a blood transfusion. But now they've discovered a new group of blood types that you may need to be aware of in rare occasions. The new group is called the ER blood group, and according to the journal Blood, there are a total of 5 ER antigens in this group based on genetic variations. The ER antigen was discovered years ago, but the study is the first to describe different mutations of the antigen. It is 10 after the hour. Your latest forecast is just ahead here on News 8 Now this morning. We'll be right back right after this.
Quiet look there from City Cam 8, but those of us towards the north across portions of Buffalo County, Wabasha towards the west, even east up towards Eau Claire and Clark County, looking at a broken line of showers here moving your way, even some rumbles of thunder here possible with some of those showers here too. The rest of us though looking at mainly cloudy weather conditions with temperatures as you head out the door mainly in the 50s here this morning. Your zone forecast today does call for our temperatures to pretty much remain almost the way they are right now, maybe a few degrees warmer into the afternoon as highs will only climb into the upper 50s today. 60s though a little bit further south you go up towards Gays Mills and Soldiers Grove here, 61 to 62 for those locations. But the central zones today where most of us are going to be into those upper 50s will be located there with highs around 57 today in Eau Claire and 55 in Stanley. Your school cast this morning 56 and partly cloudy, mostly cloudy for the lunch hour, 58 degrees, and just a tad warmer here around dismissal, 59 and mostly cloudy by the afternoon. I'll be back with another check on your full weather forecast in just a bit.
Liquid Death may not sound like the wisest branding choice for a beverage. The Liquid Death canned water company sells water in 16-ounce beer cans. It raised $70 million in its latest funding round, reaching a valuation of, get this, $700 million. Since its 2019 launch, it has had explosive growth due in part to loyal fans, unique packaging, and submersive marketing. One of the most famous brands of canned pressed meat is on track for an 8th straight year of record sales. That's right, Spam is cool again. The 85-year-old product has been undergoing a cultural reinvention and seeing record sales for the past 7 years in a row. Hormel says it can't make Spam fast enough to boost its production capacity. In 2019, it jumped on the pumpkin spice bandwagon with a limited edition flavor selling out in just minutes. Crocs is giving away thousands of free pairs of its clogs to celebrate the 20th anniversary. It's all part of its Free Pair for All Croctober daily shoe giveaway, set to run now through Friday. That's October 7th. To participate, you must join the Crocs Club. It is free. And you can opt in for emails as well. Now, the company reported record annual revenue of $2.3 billion in 2021. That was up from a whopping 67% jump over 2020. Driving in Florida, you'll find the National Guard running lines at gas stations that are open and still have fuel. It's one of the biggest needs right now in Southwest Florida. Stacy Almas found one company bringing the gas pump straight to people's homes for free.
In Cape Coral, several streets are calm and quiet, except for the gentle rumble of generators.
Well, the only way we can keep our freezer and refrigerators going is with a generator. We're just patiently waiting for power.
But to keep them going, residents need one thing.
Filling up gas for my generators. This is the 4th gas station I've been trying to find that actually has gas.
The gas is the biggest problem right now with people, and ice.
That's why Easy Fill is driving in with gas from Miami, filling people up for free.
when a hurricane comes, and the aftermath is that gas is typically one of the things, gas or fuel are one of the shortages that people have. So we're trying to bridge that gap between what's short here for the residents in these areas and what we have on our sites.
It's basically Uber, but for gas. Using a smartphone app, customers can order gas to be delivered to them. But when I found them filling up tanks on the streets in Cape Coral, they looked more like first responders.
Did you ever think that you would be disaster relief?
Never in the beginning, really not, until the Hurricane Irma hit Florida, but I'm based out of Miami, and we were much smaller back then. We took the opportunity to play a smaller part in the emergency response or relief.
Some elderly residents don't have cans to even get gas for their generators, and those whose homes are okay have been driving around trying to help friends and family.
I just happened to be going home, and I was like, wow, you guys are great.
Ian is already blamed for at least 102 deaths in Florida and 4 more in North Carolina. Officials believe those numbers will grow higher in the days to come.
Well, we're keeping our eyes on a broken line of showers, even a couple of thunderstorms across our northern zones this morning. This line is affecting areas towards the west of Wabasha County, even up towards Buffalo, and Eau Claire County up towards Clark County, looking at a broken line, now moving into Trempealeau as we speak. But the rest of us just looking mainly cloudy. And of course, that broken line of showers and storms that you see is associated with that cold front that we've been talking about all week long that is currently moving on through. And it's also packing a lot of cold air behind the system too, which we're going to talk about here in just a couple minutes. 54 degrees currently with a south-southwest wind at around 6 miles an hour. Our river stage is at 4.87 feet and dropping this morning. Current readings as you head out the door mainly in the 50s, but there's some cold spots though. Black River Falls looking at a current reading of 48 degrees. Our high temperatures today won't be getting too much warmer compared to where we sit right now, with only forecast highs reaching those mid to upper 50s this afternoon. 58 and mostly cloudy at noon, partly cloudy, 56 degrees at 5, and you can expect temperatures to drop to 48 degrees by around the 9 o'clock hour as that cold front continues to move south and help rush in that cold air moving in from the north from Canada to help really cool us down. The cloud cover should come to a close here later this afternoon into early this evening as well. But even though the cold air will still kind of be in place as we head through the day tomorrow, keep in mind that high pressure to our west is going to be our friend to kind of help get rid of the cloud cover thanks to some drier air kind of moving in from the west as well. And we will be looking at mainly sunny weather conditions throughout much of this weekend here too, as the cloud cover should be long gone by that point. Now, as far as where we stand here today, really our temperatures will be into the 50s this morning and throughout the day here today. Heading into tomorrow morning, bring a jacket with you. I think you'll need it, as our lows will be sitting into the 30s, and the 20s won't be too far away from us either. High temperatures tomorrow will only be into the 50s with the 40s across north central Wisconsin, and it's going to be much colder here as we head into Saturday morning. In fact, some of the coldest air this season here will be across our area into the 20s and 30s by around 6 to 7 a.m. Saturday morning. So you might need that jacket again. And our highs into the 50s here for the most part Saturday afternoon, with the 60s getting a little bit closer. That will be a sign of our next warm-up trend here on the way. And you'll see that here on the 8-day forecast that our high temperatures will be rising back into the 60s for Sunday and into Monday. In fact, into early to mid next week, we'll be looking at highs into the 60s as well, with a slight chance of showers on Tuesday and Wednesday, and their next cool down arrives late next week. As you can see, our highs will then drop into the 50s by then. But stay tuned though, we're back with much more news and weather right here on News 8 Now this morning. For now, we're sending you to break with a look at what happened on this day in history. We'll be right back. Watching a broken line of showers and even a couple of thunderstorms as well this morning, affecting our central and now pushing into affecting our northern zones and now affecting our central zones, I should say. Cloudy skies here currently at the moment, and you can see those showers and storms moving south. Current temperature readings are into the 50s here this morning as you head out the door. 48 degrees in Black River Falls and in Sparta this morning. Your dog walking conditions look mostly cloudy again, but watch out for a couple of showers possible this morning. Mostly cloudy for the afternoon, partly cloudy as we head into the evening. Now your mowing forecast for this morning, 56 degrees, mostly cloudy. Again, a couple of showers here possible, but rain chances diminish further into the day. Mostly cloudy, highs into the upper 50s to low 60s. I'll be back with another check on your commute forecast in just a bit.
Welcome to the Blitz. What a year it's been so far for the UW lacrosse soccer team. The Eagles have soared past the competition. Just one loss on the year, a 9-1-1 record, and UWL at home last night looking for its second conference win of the season. Let's go to the pitch. Eagles hosting River Falls last night. This one all UWL from the first whistle. Isabel Batley the pass to Ainsley Allen, right place, right time. It's 1-0 Eagles just 4 minutes in. Then 5 minutes later, Ellie Arndt trying to get some space. The right foot rocket hits the back of the net. Eagles jump ahead by 2. Less than 2 minutes later, Alexis McMahon joining in on the fun. She rifles one home. Look at the spin. Incredible shot there. Makes it 3-0 UWL, and the Eagles weren't done. Still in the first half. It's Arndt again finding the twine, her second goal of the game. All UWL last night. Eagles get the shutout win 6-0 as they improve to 10-1-1 on the year. The high school volleyball season is winding down, and a couple big matchups tonight in the MVC. Holman still holds a 1-game lead over Aquinas. The Vikings will be home hosting Central, and in the Cooley Conference, Westby looks to remain perfect in conference play. They got a scare a couple nights ago against West Salem, but they improved to 20-1 on the year. Westby's at Black River Falls tonight. Season finale for the Brewers yesterday. Rowdy Tellez gives his squad the lead in the 8th. The deep fly to center just clears the wall. Rowdy's 35th of the year, makes it 2-1 Crew, but it's been the story of really the last couple of months for the Brewers. The lead short-lived because in the 9th, Josh Rojas puts Arizona back on top. A 2-run shot makes it 3-2. Brewers fall in their season finale 4-2. Twins wrapping up their season yesterday. This one was over quick in the first. Gary Sanchez with 2 on. He crushes a no-doubter to left. Twins score 6 runs in the top of the first. They go on to win this one big by a final of 10-1. That'll do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
Breaking overnight, the U.S. is considering offering to analyze underwater audio recordings to assist in the investigation of explosions that damaged the Nord Stream gas pipeline and caused large leaks. Investigators believe the explosions were deliberate and acts of sabotage. The pipeline carries natural gas from Russia to Germany under the Baltic Sea. A lawmaker in the European Union cut her own hair while addressing Parliament to signal her support for women protesting in Iran. Demonstrators have gathered in Iran since 22-year-old Mahsa Amini died while under police custody in September. Former public safety officer Crimson Elizondo resigned while being investigated for her response to the Uvalde school shooting massacre, but despite being one of those under investigation in the failed law enforcement response, she has now been hired to protect the city's school children, and parents of the children who were killed at Robb Elementary were the first to notice that Elizondo was on campus, recognizing her from body camera footage of the shooting. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison announced Wednesday that his office has filed a complaint against Fleet Farm for allegedly gun trafficking. Ellison, along with Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry, addressed the media as he filed the lawsuit in district court. Ellison says in selling close to 40 guns to 2 people in just a span of a few days, the company should have known they were being resold.
Our situation was incredibly lucky. We have a lot of kids who live in our community, and we are just aware that the outcome could have been a lot worse if it wasn't for his quick thinking.
In one instance, Ellison says Fleet Farm sold 24 guns to one individual in a 4-month span in 2021. Ellison says 7 of these guns have been traced to crimes or suspected crimes. Gas prices are likely going up in the coming months, but they were already starting to rise slightly. And then the oil-producing countries in OPEC Plus voted yesterday to reduce production in November. Amy Kiley reports that could trigger a series of financial woes for American consumers.
Obviously, it's not good to have gas prices going up.
What might be less obvious is what other economic dominoes could fall as a result. It starts with the OPEC Plus decision to slash oil production by 2 million barrels a day starting next month. That's more than expected and the largest cut since the pandemic began.
Everything has a price. Energy security has a price as well.
That threatens to increase the cost of gas in the U.S.
Less supply of crude oil equals less supply of gasoline. Less supply of gasoline at current demand levels equals higher prices.
Retailers paying more for shipping could pass on the cost to consumers, and broader inflation could affect interest rates.
When higher oil prices are putting pressure on inflation, the Federal Reserve really has to keep rate hikes going.
These dominoes are starting to fall right before voters head to the polls for the midterms.
It is an inconvenience. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's not just affecting me. It affects the whole world.
There's only so much control any American president has over gas prices, but voters blame the people in charge when gas prices go higher.
Some allege the timing isn't a coincidence, but a ploy from the leaders of Russia and Saudi Arabia.
Vladimir Putin and MBS are essentially trying to interfere in our election through these actions using OPEC.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
During this potential chain of events, some energy analysts say they see a reason to hope. They point out the global oil market could be oversupplied until the end of the year, and that could weaken the impact of OPEC's production cuts. More than 100 healthcare workers at Allina hit the picket line this week. The newly unionized group says they continue to face anti-union tactics and deliberate delaying at the negotiation table. The three-day unfair labor practices strike had been announced at Abbott Northwestern, Mercy, and Unity hospitals. Workers at Fairview Riverside are not on strike because they said progress was being made.
We are here because we are fed up with the greed at Allina Health, where Allina Health has said they're going to put profits before patients and before our livelihoods and our safety.
The new contract is for 1.5 years and includes an immediate 6% wage increase with an added 2.75% in March for all workers. There is also increased paid time off and new initiatives to address staffing concerns. The union says this is the largest single-year wage increase in the health system that it's offered in years. Meanwhile, mental health workers at Allina say they are at a standstill with their negotiations. Back here in La Crosse, the Gunderson Medical Foundation has a new addition. The public was invited to an open house to check out the new downtown offices. Refreshments will be served and guests can shop with local vendors. The offices are now home to the foundation's philanthropy and resolve through sharing departments. The office includes a lobby, work areas, conference rooms, and a local cafe. A critical shortage of nurses could soon leave Minnesota hospitals understaffed. One estimate, I should say, found that nearly 30,000 new nurses will be needed in just the next 3 years. Barrett Leone explains what's causing the crisis and how schools hope to help treat the problem.
It's felt nationwide.
I know a lot of units are really affected by staffing. We are as well in the ICU.
And in Minnesota, nursing staff shortages are now dire.
It's affecting everyone everywhere. Because of the pandemic, the shortage has grown. But this shortage has been going on for years. Our nursing profession is changing out there from being a mostly full-time profession to having people retire and people work part-time, which means we need to graduate even more nurses.
Right now, Minnesota needs more than 28,000 new licensed practical nurses and registered nurses within the next 3 years.
Let's get everyone to the table and see if we can figure out some solutions to the current problem we're in.
Here's your call light. Now, a step toward the solution, as University of Minnesota and Minnesota schools are coming together to work with every school of nursing in the state, both public and private, and calling it the Coalition for Nursing Equity and Excellence.
We need to reimagine how we're going to teach nursing because we need more nursing faculty, and we need to take in students who maybe we never took in before.
With a goal to help a critical career at a critical point.
The more nursing educators we can have, the more students they can get through the programs, and the sooner we can be working.
Industry leaders say this is even more of an issue in greater Minnesota, with some programs limiting enrollment simply because they don't have enough staff. Well, Fire Prevention Week begins on Sunday, and the Sparta Area Fire Department is getting a head start on educating the community while having a little fun. The department is hosting its first ever block party. The fundraiser will have live music, a beanbag tournament, and demonstrations with the department's new fire extinguisher prop. The department is hoping to raise thousands of dollars to update their communication systems.
Some of our radios are pushing 15 to 18 years old. Some of them are susceptible to water. They're not waterproof, and so unfortunately when we go out on calls and if they get just a little bit of water in them or moisture, they don't operate correctly.
Now the party begins with an open house at 10 a.m. on Saturday. Music from local country band Blue Collar 40 begins at 6 p.m. Get your reusable grocery bags ready. Hy-Vee confirms that the new La Crosse location attached to Valley View Mall opens October 18th. Construction on the new store started last fall. Hy-Vee officials say they are hoping this store will provide roughly 600 jobs to the area. Well, bookworms, you're not going to want to miss out on this opportunity. The Friends of Onalaska Library are having their annual fall book sale starting today. For the next 3 days, you can head over to the Onalaska Public Library to buy books, DVDs, CDs, magazines, and more for less than $1. The sale will be open today from noon until 6, and then tomorrow from 9 until 5 in the evening, and then Saturday from 9 to noon for a bag sale to sell off the rest of the items. A new major at UWL is meeting a big need. In January, the university's College of Business will offer a business analytics major. The program will build upon the business analytics minor, which was launched in the fall of 2020. The major will take 24 credits to complete and is designed to help students start a high-learning business career. The Golden Rule boat sailed into La Crosse on Wednesday, bringing with it its mission of peace. The historic sailboat started sailing in 1958 as a peace ship to stop nuclear weapons testing. Veterans for Peace sponsors the newer version, but the mission to prevent nuclear war remains the same, especially with the ongoing conflict in Ukraine.
So this is a very important war to stop before it turns nuclear, and what we're advocating for is get to the negotiating table as soon as possible. Be serious about the negotiations.
The Golden Rule will be stopping in over 100 ports along the Mississippi. The boat will be leaving early this morning for Prairie du Chien.
Well, we are watching a broken line of showers here move in across our central zones after just affecting our northern zones this morning. So areas like Buffalo into Trempealeau County as well as Jackson County, even still affecting Clark County this morning. This could affect your morning commute, so just watch out for that. And the rest of us will keep an eye on that broken line of showers as it continues to inch further south. But the rest of us this morning looking mainly cloudy with temperatures mainly into the 50s as you head out the door this morning. For today, just a few morning showers. Otherwise, those clearing skies are expected later in the day with a high of about 58 degrees and north-northwest winds at around 10 to 20 miles an hour. For tonight, 37 degrees and partly cloudy skies, colder this time, and north winds at 10 to 20 miles an hour as well. So for your drive cast, looking at a few showers this morning and mostly cloudy skies for the lunch hour, and expect some partly cloudy conditions as we get towards the evening as we wrap things up for your evening commutes. But stay tuned. I'll be back with a final check on your full weather forecast in just a bit. Jordan?
Thanks a lot, Derek. Well, following clips surfacing from the new HBO Max Scooby-Doo movie, fans are speculating that Velma may be part of the LGBTQ community. We'll explain more in our Buzz Report just ahead after the break.
Well, we are watching a broken line of showers, even a couple of thunderstorms that continue to move south across our central zones this morning. Areas like Wabasha County up towards Buffalo, Trempealeau, and even into Jackson County and portions of southern Clark County. Looking at the broken line of showers and storms affecting your area, just keep in mind this could affect your morning commute, so just watch out for that. But the rest of us really just looking mainly cloudy here this morning, and this is all really associated with this very strong cold front that we've been talking about pretty much all week long. And we're also going to be watching some very cold air just behind it as well, which will be affecting our temperature pattern here over the next couple of days. Right now it's 54 though, and pretty quiet in La Crosse with a south-southwest wind at around 6 miles an hour currently, and current temperatures as you head out the door are mainly in the 50s, but some spots like Black River Falls looking pretty cold at around 49 degrees, at least compared to where the rest of us stand. High temperatures today don't really warm up too much further compared to where we're at right now, as highs will only be mainly into those mid to upper 50s today. 56 and mostly cloudy by 7, mostly cloudy and 58 degrees at noon. 5 o'clock turning partly cloudy, temperatures at 56, and expect temperatures to drop to 48 under partly cloudy conditions this evening as that cold front continues to move south and drag in that cold air from the north from Canada. And you can see our wind directions out of the northerly direction here this afternoon. And really the same can be said here as we head into the day tomorrow. Less clouds and more sun here is in the forecast for tomorrow as high pressure to the west behind that cold front begins to build in across the Midwest, and that should help get rid of the clouds, leading to some dry air weather effects to work with at least through tomorrow and possibly even into the weekend as well. Right now, again, mainly the 50s, and that trend will stick around here throughout the day today. We will be looking at morning lows tomorrow into the 30s. In fact, some spots could be into the 20s further north of us as well, with highs tomorrow only into the 50s and the 40s not too far away here for tomorrow afternoon. And then by Saturday morning, it gets even colder. In fact, some of the coldest air so far this season will be underway still from the effects of that front, sending in that cold air south, with lows into the 20s and even into the 30s as well for Saturday morning before warming back up into the 50s by Saturday afternoon, and even some spots could be near the 60-degree mark. And you'll see that here on the next 8 days. Going to be pretty chilly here for a bit before warming back up into the 60s Sunday and Monday, and then we may even see the 60s once again as we head into the early to mid part of next week, Tuesday and Wednesday there, with a slight chance of a shower possible as well.
In our Buzz Report this morning, many Scooby-Doo fans have often wondered if Velma was gay, and now it seems to be confirmed. Clips from the upcoming HBO Max Scooby-Doo Halloween movie are making their rounds on social media, and in one, Velma tells Daphne that she is crushing big time over the female character named Coco Diablo, now leaving many fans wondering what Velma's LGBTQ identity is. Now, you can catch the new Trick or Treat Scooby-Doo later this month. It debuts on October 16th. Well, we are sending you to break with a look at who is turning 8 this morning.
Happy 8th birthday to Finley. She is a spunky girl who has a huge heart and also loves horses.
Happy birthday, Finley. Happy 8 years old to Jackson this morning. He is a kind, sweet, and energetic boy who loves to go out on the river.
Next, we have a 2 for 1 birthday wish to John and Rita. Happy birthday. These two 80-year-olds have been together since nursery. We're celebrating 60 years of marriage this coming April, so we want to wish a happy birthday and congratulations to both of you.
Yeah, congratulations, John and Rita. That is so awesome. Well, in case you missed it, parents, if you got an 18-year-old at home with a birthday you want to highlight, make sure you let us know. We have added 18 to our list of birthday shout-outs on News 8 Now this morning.
If you know a special someone turning 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80 years old, or 88 years old soon, we'd love to feature them.
Yeah, make sure you let us know. You're going to upload their photo right to our website. Look for the Submit Pictures button under the Home tab at news8000.com. Colder temperatures to keep in mind for this evening. We'll have that and everything you need to know this morning in 5 minutes or less. Your Morning News Now is up next. Your Morning News Now on this Thursday. The community gets the chance to meet the candidates for La Crosse County Sheriff, and we spoke to Republican Fritz Leinfelder and Democrat John Siegel at an event hosted by the North La Crosse Business Association. Drugs and crime are issues that are on both of the candidates' minds. However, the two have different approaches to combat the issues.
People that are breaking into homes, breaking into cars, which creates victims. We have to look out for our victims in La Crosse County.
We have to be able to work within the addiction community to say, we can help offer these resources and understand that people are going to fail, they're going to relapse, but we have to slow down the demand.
Both candidates currently work in the sheriff's office. Leinfelder is an investigator and Siegel is the captain of investigators. Rising drug overdose deaths affect everyone, and officials at the local level work to keep drugs from entering the community, but they can't do it alone. The effects of heavy drug use can devastate a community. A drug task force director, Robert Walensky, sees those effects. An inter-county task force in the La Crosse region works together to attack the problems as they come, and they use their connections to work toward the source. Officials confirm a buck at a Vernon County deer farm tested positive for chronic wasting disease. The farm has been placed under quarantine and no live or dead animals are allowed to leave the property. The Wisconsin and U.S. Departments of Agriculture will investigate the case. Research says humans, cattle, and other animals are resistant to the disease, but it is still important to reduce exposure since there are no treatments or vaccines for the disease. In a letter to district families, La Crosse School District Superintendent Aaron Engel says the district needs to consolidate whether the November referendum passes or not. If the referendum fails, Engel says consolidation would happen by moving into 2 middle schools short term and into 1 high school and 1 middle school within existing buildings in 5 to 10 years.
As we take a look at your day planner for this morning, we will be looking at temperatures warming up into only the upper 50s today. Could see some showers out there this morning and then mainly cloudy skies here for much of the day before kind of clearing out just a bit, getting closer towards the early evening.
A new major at UW La Crosse is meeting a big need. In January, the university's College of Business will offer a business analytics major. The program will build upon the business analytics minor, which was launched in fall of 2020. The major will take 24 credits to complete and is designed to help students start a high-earning business career. La Crosse's area chamber is taking local business and community issues to the state capitol. The virtual trip to Madison was part of the chamber's Oktoberfest in the Capitol tradition. Several La Crosse community members took turns sharing top issues with state legislators, from transportation resources to expanding efforts for child care. A director at the Parenting Place says La Crosse County has lost more than 350 child care businesses in the past 20 years.
So we have some existing physical capacity, but no staff to take advantage of it. At the Parenting Place, we support a 3-tiered approach focusing first on the retention of who we have in the field. We need to keep these people working.
The rest of their approach is getting back to capacity and then expanding from there. She says expansion is crucial because there's more need for child care than there are current spaces among providers. Bringing Oktoberfest to the schools. While folks at home may be missing the festive fun, Hamilton Elementary and Soda students had their own little celebration. Kids sang and danced to folk songs like Edelweiss with the Oktoberfest royal family.
My grandma's in Oktoberfest and I got to go up there and sing with her.
The Oktoberfest royal family will be making school and nursing home visits through Sunday. They plan to make People's Day at over 25 stops in the community.
As you head out the door, you can expect a few showers possible this morning. Otherwise, mainly cloudy skies. Up until about 5 o'clock, we could see some of those clouds clearing out. High temperatures at around 58 degrees, but overall a much cooler day today.
Get the coat out.
Yeah, no kidding, especially tomorrow morning and Saturday morning.
All right, thanks a lot, Derek. Thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate it as always. We'll be back here for News 8 Now at noon, and of course, you can catch up on the latest on the News8000.com app, as well as the News 8 Now First Alert weather app. CBS Mornings follows us here. Have a great day.